Prepare yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 92. Thank you for joining us as always on this Pop Culture Tuesday evening, Earth date October 11th, 2016. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me as always is my co-host, Brandon Full. Say hello, Brandon.
Remington, I'm so comfortable with you, it feels like we've already done this.
I know, it's almost like we recorded nearly an hour's worth of stuff and have nothing to show for it.
Huh.
Oh, let me collect myself. Just a little background for all of you people out there. We just did this. We did pretty much the whole thing. And in true Dueling Ogres fashion, I dropped the mic and nothing happened at all because there was no sound to be recorded when I dropped said mic.
Yeah, it only recorded us. It didn't record
our guests today, who are Peshka Calloway and Justin Williamson from West Virginia University, who headed the Parkersburg Pop Con that we went to this past weekend. Hi, guys.
We're here.
At least you're here. I mean, we had Skype issues. We had me not recording anything.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at all the things.
I did great, though.
You did. You were on point, sir. And you guys were great, too.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's all we have this week. I'll see you guys later.
I think we should just do a retrospective of what we just talked about.
Like, in what sense?
Well, I think we hit the points that we hit before.
Uh-huh.
That's really all I have. There's...
So, as we discussed, on October 8th, we attended the Parkersburg Pop Con. This was the first year for the event. And, Peshka, how do you think it went?
I think it went extremely well. We had a pretty good turnout for the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we've gotten rave reviews. I think what blew everyone away was the fact that the 501st was here.
Yeah.
And then, like, they left at, like, 4 o'clock, because I think they finished up at 4. Then it was you guys. And then the cosplay panel. Mm-hmm. And then you guys.
So what? Tell us a little bit about the 501st, since you went ahead and brought it up, for those listeners who aren't Star Wars fans.
So, like, the 501st, let me give some stories. So I didn't even know. All I knew was that Darth Vader was coming from the 501st. And I was like, yay, Darth Vader, so excited.
Right.
And then, like, the event starts, and there's, like, what, 8 of them?
8 of them. 8
different people?
Yes.
And then it just kept growing on top of that. And then all of a sudden, like, 11 o'clock hits. Well, it's like 11:15, and it's like, there's Chewbacca.
It's like 7 foot tall, beautiful Maybelline commercial, like Chewie just. It was
amazing. We had students crying.
Really?
They saw Darth Vader and Chewie, and they just started breaking down, crying with overwhelm. Like, they were just like, this is the best thing ever. Yeah. Broke down crying. They were like, we didn't expect this.
We love Star Wars.
I feel you on that. That Chewbacca costume is magnificent.
Absolutely.
I saw they had them at the mall while I was working there a few months ago, and I don't remember what the event was, but I couldn't even bring myself to walk up to that Chewbacca and like touch him or anything. Like, I took a picture from afar. I was like, here's Chewbacca. Yeah. I'm just walking by. No big deal.
He's just a guy in a costume. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know he's just a guy in a costume, but I'm so intimidated by him. It's like looking at your big brother in awe.
Yeah. I don't respect any of my brothers, so it's all right for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
They were like trying to grab me as I was running past them because I was running to handle a situation, and they're like, "You want to hang out?" I'm like, "No." I was like the person who didn't want to encounter them at all because I knew it would take up my time, and I had to like go fix some stuff.
Right.
So
you're like, I want to, but I can't.
Yeah.
The child in me says yes, but the adult says no. Go to the child.
That was it.
So,
intermodal.
So what were you expecting turnout versus what you got? Or what were you hoping for, I guess, would be the...
I was hoping for the whole town of Parkersburg and as well as Marietta and Vienna to be out at this event because it was so awesome.
Half of Morgantown.
Like half of, yeah. Like
okay, so you set realistic expectations at least.
Oh, you said realistic?
My realistic expectations were... My realistic expectations were in between 900 and 1,200. What we actually received was 600, which still for a first con, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like my director and even myself, I was like, we'll be lucky to even get 400. And then like part of me is like, no, we'll get more than that. Don't worry. We got this. And then it's like 600. And I'm like,
I
that's
love
good.
how your optimism voice is so much lower than your negative voice.
Yeah, right.
Very, very weighted.
They are. They're pretty weird.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good insight into your psyche.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. That was very deep.
Uh-oh. No therapist or psychologist listen to this podcast.
Are they making fun of you, Peshka? I don't think so.
You know what? Thinking about it, the earlier recording, those were definitely our practice marshmallows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're doing great right now. I think this is our for realsy marshmallow this time.
You know, I actually thought about that conversation. Over the weekend, I had my daughter and I did s'mores one night. And I couldn't figure out how to get my fireplace lit, so I was cooking the s'mores over my gas stove. And it is a lot harder to get a golden marshmallow than I remember. I just kept catching them on fire.
Yeah, well, gas stoves are like the worst things you can use. You can use a candle.
Plus, you only have one do-over. How many times did you go?
How many times did you practice?
I didn't practice at all. I probably did like 5 or 6 marshmallows. Almost all of them caught on fire.
Oh, man.
Here's the thing about cooking over a gas flame. It comes out considerably hotter than a flame that would be in a regular fire.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to be far enough away from it in order to get that.
I did have it as high as I could go.
Oh, really?
Mm.
And it was still catching fire?
Yeah, like as high as I could put the flame out.
Oh, yeah.
Stove.
Yeah, you don't want to put the marshmallow into that flame.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand how fire works.
But clearly.
I love that there's an art form to golden marshmallows.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fat guy, so I've done a lot of stuff on a gas stove that...
and a lot of stuff with marshmallows.
And a lot of stuff with marshmallows, yeah. So let's...
Thinking about it, Parkersburg Pop Con like this year was definitely our practice marshmallow.
Yeah.
And I blew it out of the park. I think we can consider it a for realsy marshmallow this time.
It's pretty gold.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's burnt edges, but it's pretty gold.
It's pretty golden.
Right.
I might place.
I think I didn't actually get there until just about an hour or so before the Dueling Ogres panel went up. And I really would have liked to have spent more time there, but as we had touched on last episode, I got a new job, and my boss is part of a band, and he had a gig that he had to go to Saturday. So we started off the morning working together because we're both supposed to work weekends. And I mean, it's just me and him in this store. We don't have any other employees. Really, we have the delivery guys, but they don't come in and work. So we came in, did the morning stuff. He went off, did his gig, came back, and then I left to come down to the con. And even though it closed at 8, right? Was the scheduled time?
Yes.
And I got there at about, I want to say, our panel was at 6, right?
Yeah.
So I got there just a little after 5, I think, or just right at 5. So, and there were still quite a few people there, even.
Yeah, they wouldn't leave. We were telling everybody, we're like, hey, listen, we're wrapping this up.
Yeah.
They were like, no, we
They're
want
like,
to stay.
We have blankets. We were just making a blanket fort town.
Yeah.
But
Our dark lord said we had vacancy here.
so yeah, even towards the end, and that's the thing with those cons is that they start to wind down and people really start to kind of funnel out. But it was still going fairly strong. There were still people coming in even after I got there too. So that was all really good. So as far as the flow goes, what do you think? Do you think that because it opened up at what 11?
Yes.
How do you think that the timing went? Do you think that 11 to 8 was a good stretch of time for the con? What kind of research? What kind of research did you do? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What kind of research did you do beforehand that kind of led you to the 11 to 8 time frame?
I don't think any research was done.
Yeah.
We just thought, well, we don't want it to be too early. Like if we kick it off at 8, people are not even awake at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday.
Nobody wants to cosplay with cereal.
Yeah, no one wants. Yeah, no one wants to pick up.
Unless you're cosplaying as Captain Crunch, and then it's the perfect time.
Yeah.
Just
Walk around with razor blades in your pocket to cut people's mouth roof mouths.
What?
That's what Captain Crunch does. It cuts the roof of your mouth.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like those popsicles with the plastic. Like what are those?
Like the popsicles with the plastic. I don't even know. Those are just like IGA specials that like they create the Heath Ledger Joker smile.
Yeah.
Cheeks.
Yeah,
Right.
Those are pretty dangerous. I can't believe they were giving those. I can't believe they give those things to children.
So how did you guys arrive? How did you guys arrive at that kind of time frame then?
Oh, I arrived at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I ran to my office.
Peshka, how did you arrive at the time frame of 11 to 8 for the con?
Oh, we just winged it.
Adulting 101.
Yeah, Adulting 101. Just figure out a time that people would already be awake in the morning. So 11 was perfect because it was right before lunch, and lunch is at noon. So it got people warmed up, and then the food vendors were already established and ready to go. So people could just come right in and get their lunch and then stay with us. And then dinner, they can get in because we had pizza and sissies and green kiwi, froyo, and...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There were a lot of food vendors there. I didn't bring any cash with me to buy anything just because I didn't have time to stop, really. I stopped and got a little bit of Hardee's just because I could pay with a card, but...
Let me tell you something that's pretty interesting that I've got a lot of questions about. This is what I mostly got questions about. Where's your ATM?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it was literally like right. If you come in through the doors and take a right, it was right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And people were like, we can see it because it blends in with the Monster because we have Monster energy drinks on campus.
Oh, yeah.
With the Monster energy drink vending machine.
That's definitely something to take. I mean, I would take a note on that right now is make sure that your ATM is well stocked and well, or easy to see as well. That's one of those things at cons that, it can be overlooked, but it's a very integral part because people will come and they'll bring a certain amount of money to spend with them. But there'll always be that one item that they're like, oh, this is $45 and I've already blown through 20 of my 50.
Yeah. I need more money. Nope,
exactly.
Like for me, I would have tapped into my savings. I'd be like, oh, this piece of artwork.
Yeah,
I need that.
Park and recreation candles.
See, you know what? Let me tell you something right now. If any point it has to be told about this whole PopCon thing. All right, so Bubbles and Geek candles and scents was here. And I was the most excited about them. And I was like, in my mind, and to many people, I was like, listen, if I could have anything at this event, just this one thing, is to be left alone so I can browse through Bubbles and Geek inventory and get a Treat Yourself candle.
Oh, yeah.
And some other candles.
Right.
I walked past them, and if you would have saw the scene of me running to the stage to go handle something, I literally so I'm going up the aisle that they're located, and I I'm going really fast, but in my mind it was like slow-mo.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like going really fast, and I'm like, bubbles and geese.
It's like a lasting moment.
Sad. Yeah, it was a last moment that I should have lasted longer. But I was trying to like browse and see what they had so I can like grab it really quickly and buy it really fast. But it didn't happen. So I had to do work. And then like I passed them constantly. And if there was a recording of me, you would just see me just analyzing everything in the bubble.
Like one shedded tear.
Yeah, there was a tear. There was definitely a tear.
Like if there was a time-lapse video of the entire day, it would just be you over and over finding reasons to walk down and kind of glance at the table as you go by.
Really? Yeah, because that was the only aisle I pretty much took to get anywhere.
See, you were talking in the part that we lost. You were talking about being sore. That's probably where all the headaches came from.
Yeah.
Whipping my head to look at a Bubbles and Geeks inventory.
She was Willow Smithing for Bubbles and Geeks.
Yeah, there you go. So, Justin, what was your role in the Pop Con event?
Well, I'm kind of like Peshka's right-hand man, so whatever she tells me to do, I kind of do it.
Right.
But for the most part, I was working with the volunteers. I was also checking on vendors and making sure that everybody was happy, everybody was taken care of, and just wanted to make sure that the event was being maintained and taken care of.
That's cool. While you were there, though, you were also cosplaying as the Jared Leto Joker from Suicide Squad.
I did no such thing. What are you? No, I did that.
You're like, this is how I usually dress up. What are you talking about?
And it made it that much harder for me to find Justin so I can yell at him. Because he blended in with everyone, and I think he did that on purpose.
There's many a time right beside her, and she didn't even notice me. I'm like,
I didn't. There's a cosplay standing beside me.
She's grabbing other Jared Leto Jokers and turning them around. And Justin, what did you do? Oh, you're not Justin.
Exactly.
So how was that experience for you, Justin? While you were maintaining a costume, but also trying to get work done.
I mean, there's so many benefits of being able to do cosplay while working, because not only because I can maintain my professionalism, but it also gave something for every attendee to come through and see. I mean, there's many times a bunch of children had me blocked in as Batman and Robin, trying to stop me from doing bad when I obviously wasn't.
Right.
So, I mean, it was a lot of fun. A lot of people, really real well receptive. I mean, 2 days ago, I was at the gym, and this gentleman comes up to me and asks me about if I was a PopCon and if I was doing the Joker, and he's like, "My son loved you. Thank you for taking a picture." I mean, not only did it help, get the crowd a better speculation of what we were about, it also provided me a camouflage from Peshka, so I can't really, she didn't have to yell at me as much.
Right. Did you find that? Did you find that the vendors responded well to you being in costume as well when you had to let them know about things that were going on?
Honestly, they kind of did, at the first glance, whenever I went around all the tables, they kind of looked at me twice, and then they realized that, hey, he works here, and hey, he's making sure I'm taken care of. I don't think it really hindered anything. If anything, it gave us a conversation piece. Like, hey, you're obviously one of us. We're good with each other. If I let you, it kind of give you that establishment of trust immediately, because you guys know as well as we know is that within our community, we established that trust and that bond really, really quickly. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I would say that it probably helped that your costume was freaking spot on too.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
So what would you say are some of like the major things that you learned with this con that you're going to implement for next year? Like, was there anything that you feel like didn't work this year that you're going to change for next year?
Honestly, I think so far that everything that we've done, it really, really worked very, very well. There, of course, like we talked about on Marshmallow, it was golden, but there's some burnt edges, and we want to be able to provide a better experience for our vendors as well as our attendees. But all in all, it really did turn out really well, and it was a good event. Just a couple screws that needed tightened a little bit more that we didn't really get to. I feel like we have the right components there and the right equation. It's just we need to push a little bit harder in some certain areas. But all in all, I really did enjoy it.
Peshka, you in the previous recording there, we're talking about SWOT.
Yes. We're currently working on a SWOT analysis, which is you look at your strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats. As of right now, like one of our greatest opportunities is the fact that PopCon was a fundraiser for the college.
Yeah.
And it also brought out a lot of people to experience the college. So that was a huge opportunity because like a lot of students, they are anxious about they get anxious about starting.
Right.
And so to bring them in and experience our campus in a very casual way, and have fun, that was the best thing. But like, earlier you guys asked me about like what our threats were.
Yeah.
And I think our threats were, the fact that other events were going on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we kind of touched on in that previous recording was that you really have to be, when you're setting up an event, especially something of this size, you have to be wary of the other things that are going on in the community as well.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, was that sort of an afterthought as we're discussing this, or was it something that going into it, you're like, okay, this is the day that there's a minimal number of things going on in the community?
I mean, I think it's hard to gauge exactly what's going on in the community because some people, like some events are planned 2 or 3 weeks out. Some of the other events are tradition. And so, like, for instance, the 4-H had a fundraiser for the 4-H club. I didn't know about that and it was the same day as our event, but at a different time.
Right.
I didn't know about that until the day of. Or no, the day before. The day before is when I found out about that. Yeah. And then, there's a lot of other events planned on the same day. And how I work is if it's not on Facebook, like if it's not on the Facebook events, it doesn't exist.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a way to do it.
Like it has to be a Facebook event.
Exactly.
Or no one will know about it. But I'm kidding. People do know about these other events, but like it's hard to have a calendar that's inclusive of everything. And we do have sources, I guess, in our community, like Clutch MOV and Downtown PKB that track all the things. Like Downtown PKB is focused on events that are happening downtown. Right. And then Clutch MOV focuses on not only events, but culture and fashion and other things as well.
Gotcha.
So,
and I feel like with the venue that you guys have and just the amount of planning and success that you got from 4 months of planning it, that this is going to be something very big within the community within the next, if not by next year, then the year after for sure, once it's cemented, you know?
Oh, no.
And I think once you guys become this bigger con, people will start to plan around you. You know what I mean? Like they're going to know, okay, the Parkersburg Pop Con is the second weekend of October. So we'll plan our events around that.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping. Like she was telling, it's really hard to gauge the community around us. We just want to make sure that next year we do become an event that people will want to attend and, of course, be customed and traditional for Parkersburg to come visit us here at WVUP.
And I find that good old-fashioned threats also work.
Those
you
do
know
work.
what? And the hustler mentality. Also
yeah, exactly. Every day I'm hustling.
Every day hustling.
I mean, exactly.
So like we're already in the middle of planning. Like we haven't even done our after action review yet.
Right.
And we're already planning what we're doing for next year's con.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give anything away, but we've been recommended having a fire tosser and fire breather next year, like for people like a blow fire and utilizing that That was a suggestion that was given to us that I'm like highly considering.
What about a bouncy castle?
You know what? I thought about that during the event. I was like, man, we don't have kids' activities. We need to get a bouncy castle.
I actually had that. That's my space in my office. That was my go-to for my lunches.
See, I think if you have the fire breathers right next to the bouncy castle, then we can have ourselves a good old-fashioned medieval...
Just turn it into a Ren Fair.
Yeah, we'll just have a Ren Fair off to the side. And then...
Oh, Lord.
I mean, would it not be seriously pretty cool, though, to see a fire spinner jumping in a bouncy castle and spinning fire while they're bouncing around?
Yeah.
While the kids in it bouncing around.
That's unsafe.
Well, I mean,
Cool.
the kids don't necessarily have to be in the castle. I didn't.
Okay.
That was you guys suggested that.
I mean, listen, Brandon, if you're going to strip all the fun away from it, I don't want to do it in the first place. Come on. So what do you think was the biggest strength of this year's con, and what do you think might have been the biggest weakness, either in general or for you personally?
I think the biggest strength for us is the biggest strength that I listed as number one is our space. We have so much we can do so much with our space. That is our biggest strength, is that we have a lot of space here on the for the campus.
Right.
We didn't even utilize it all. We only utilized like 1/3. Yeah, 1/4 of it. Yeah. It was like we barely used the entire like first floor, and then we have a second floor, and we have the whole outside field, and then we have the whole front. I mean, we can even convert the front parking lot into and have everyone park at the bigger parking lot. Yeah. Like, there's so much that we could do with this event, and that's what we're trying to figure out. Our weakness right now for this event, and I look at a weakness as something that we necessarily can't come back from.
Okay.
Like I don't see a weakness. We're too optimistic on this campus.
Well, and it's great with as much space as you guys have, because a lot of cons and just events in general, one of their big drawbacks is they only have limited space to work with. You guys having the opposite thing where you have more space than things to do early on, with your 4 months of planning. You had a lot more space to utilize that you weren't able to utilize.
Well, one of the biggest strengths on my thing, of course, we have the space, but honestly, for me, I think it's the community as a whole. The faculty, the staff, the students, the vendors, just everybody coming together and joining into something that has benefited everybody that's went in the doors has kind of been one of, I think, in my opinion, the biggest strength, because, I mean, we had one individual on our campus at PopCon who stated that, of course, he lost his pad. Well, the whole PopCon community rose up and just spread this around, trying to get this gentleman's pad back. Come to find out, he left it on his car and it dropped out, and the state police had to return it to him. But I just thought it was so awesome to sit there and see the Facebook community, that everybody that was on PopCon was blowing it up, trying to find this gentleman's thing. And it was like, man, heroes do exist.
Yeah.
And we have them right here in our community.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this event, I think, definitely united the community and exposed the community to things that they didn't necessarily know existed. Like, for a PopCon, it is just so inclusive. And so, like, on our campus, we did have our programs out here. Like, we got huge reviews from other vendors about our criminal justice. I don't know if you guys came late. You guys didn't get to see it.
Right.
But our criminal justice. Okay, so we had our programs, our campus programs available. Right. And we had STEM, we had criminal justice, we had, workforce development, we had nursing, student service. Yeah, it was all of our programs, and they tied in PopCon. Criminal justice did a crime scene, okay?
Yeah.
To show how, what you can learn at WVU Parkersburg if you take our classes.
Right.
CJ had a crime scene, and it was Bruce Wayne's parents.
Bruce Wayne's parents' murder. Oh, nice.
Where Batman is born, essentially, they had that scene. And as my cosplay as Joker, I had to giggle a couple of times every time I passed it. Like, This is really awesome.
That is cool.
We had like Tesla coils.
Yeah, we had Tesla coils.
Yeah, from the STEM. STEM had this huge, like, they incorporated pop culture. Like, it was crazy.
Do you remember what STEM stands for off the top of your head?
Science, technology, engineering, and math.
Boom.
Science.
Mic drop.
Science what?
Science, technology, engineering, and math.
Okay, gotcha. You cut out right as you say technology, so.
It's the M the first time it sounded like you said mayo.
Math. I did say math. Like,
no, like science, technology, engineering, mayonnaise.
Yeah.
and
mayonnaise.
Or Miracle Whip. It can go either way. I'm a Miracle Whip guy myself, so.
I'm a neither.
Really?
I'm a mayonnaise.
I'm a meat and cheese only kind of guy.
Let's see. See, you don't get it a little dry? I mean, I like to have a little lubrication for my breads.
Oh, God.
For my breads.
The sandwich is just meat and cheese only.
You're like, sometimes I don't even put the bread on.
Sometimes I just eat the meat and cheese right out of the package before I even get out of the store. Just nom, 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 nom.
Dude, that's a good budget way to make sandwiches. You don't need to spend all this extra money on bread. You just take the lunch meat and wrap it around cheese.
Yeah.
And eat it like a hot dog.
Yeah, that's what I do 9 times out of 10 anyway.
Yeah.
Ingenious.
Like, while I'm making a sandwich, I'm also eating slices of meat and cheese.
Is there anything specifically you guys want to touch on as, like, before we do kind of the wrap up? Thanks for coming on. What can we look forward to, et cetera, et cetera? Is there anything you guys want to touch on we haven't yet?
I think people that attended should look out for some surveys heading their way. That includes the vendors and the attendees. They're going to be pretty intricate, asking some pretty insightful questions.
Right.
Just look out for, just encourage, like, if people could go to the WVU Parkersburg page just to stay in touch with, like, events that are coming up, because we're not just doing, like, WVUP doesn't just do Pop Con. We have a lot more other, like, stuff that's available. Just like the week before Pop Con, we had Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Right.
Play
Like,
that was done by an alumnus.
The
Adam
actual
Stover.
Sherlock Holmes?
It was, what is it? Sherlock Holmes and the Witch of Whitechapel.
It was a play, right, you said?
Yeah, it was a play by, what is it? I can't even think. Sorry, it's been 2 hours.
Yeah.
Here. But yeah, we had a play here that was done. And we have plays on the campus. We have events that are open to the community on campus, not just our, we don't just do graduations. We do other stuff as well that are pretty. Like, we're getting ready to do our alumni night. We're looking at the date as November 17th.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of events coming up next semester as well.
Yeah. So as
go ahead.
As far as the PopCon goes, then, to circle back to that, what do you think? There were a lot of nerdy, geeky centric things, but since a PopCon can be so inclusive, what other avenues are you thinking of stretching out to? Because as far as I know, I think there are a lot of different things that could have potential, but they're very niche. It seems like in the community, and it might take that year that you have to prepare for the next one, to find some of these interesting things that go on. Like, I know that there's usually at Halloween, isn't there like a graveyard walk sort of deal where they talk about the history?
Yeah, they've already started them. There's ghost walks downtown.
Yeah, like the ghost walk things and just the history of, because I think Parkersburg itself and
full
the
of ghosts.
Surrounding area, is not only full of ghosts,
lousy with them, some would say,
but also has a lot of history involved with it as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think one of the great things about being a PopCon as a whole, and Rem, you talking about things being niche, is that vendors showing up to the PopCon, I mean, the only thing they're really out is their time. So say you have something niche that's not big in the community, and somebody goes there, a proponent of whatever this thing is. They're not really out anything to sit. The only thing that's going to happen is they're going to drum up interest for it, Like having this medium for them to kind of show things that people aren't using or aren't doing already.
Right.
Another cool thing is that it's popular culture, and popular culture is ever changing. So you can get to see it morph and mold into the new age. I mean, Pokemon Go's good this year. Maybe next year, I don't know, Mario Kart Go would be good. And we could just have like little go-karts and a good run in and just have paintballs or something. I don't know. But you never know what popular culture is coming out with. And that's one of the cool things about PopCon is that it's never going to be the same. You'll see familiarity, but it's never going to be exactly as it was before.
Right.
And I think that's why UP really gathered up behind us, and we came together as a whole to do something like this.
Well, I think with college in and of itself, like education is always changing, just like our popular culture is always changing. And so you have to be up on the trends. You have to be up on, everything that's going on that's current. And of course, like we teach classes here that are, I think we even have we've had pop culture classes. We have comic book classes. So like as a place that's, I guess with our college, with WVU Parkersburg, we're in the center and we're studying popular culture and changes, in popular culture.
Right.
That's what you expect out of an institution of higher learning. And, colleges are incorporated in popular culture.
Yeah.
Like my favorite show, Community, which is based off of Community College. It's don't do it, Justin. He's singing one of the songs. But I told him that our team getting things done song.
That's right. That's yeah. You can't sing too much of it, man. It's copyright infringement.
Very true.
I don't know. We would probably get away with this if we just add our names in,
right.
like we've been singing. We've been singing it.
Yeah.
He left me in the loop when we talked. Like I wanted to show Cinta Gowdy, our director, the song. So I was like, "Come on, Justin, let's go in and sing it." And he was okay. 1, 2, 3, and I just started singing it, and he left me. Oh my! Completely abandoned, and I then was embarrassed.
Star Wars taught you it's a trap.
It is a trap. It was a trap.
That's funny.
So because we've had you guys on here to help kind of promote this, how soon before we're given honorary degrees?
Oh, see, that's like, we got to do 4 times 2, that's 8 round. That's like 16, 20 years.
16, 20 years? That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I mean, we're already 2 years into podcasting, so
yeah,
we've got another.
That's a what, associate's degree?
Yeah, totally.
An associate's degree in podcasting.
Associate's degree in podcasting.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Don't you guys actually have like a radio program there? Don't you?
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We have WPKM.
Sweet.
Yeah, let's just let us think about it.
I mean, you don't have to give us a doctorate. A master's is fine.
Yeah. So I think that about wraps us up for this episode. Thank you guys for coming on. Peshka, where can anybody find you if anybody wanted to contact you about either attending or being a part of next year's PopCon?
They can go to the main WVU Parkersburg Facebook page.
Right.
Get in touch with me there, or alumni relations at WVU Parkersburg Facebook page as well.
Gotcha.
Justin, and I'm pretty sure you guys get in your notes, your show notes.
What's that now?
I said I'm pretty sure you guys will link it in your show notes.
I will certainly try to. I'm really terrible about that. I really am. Because I write the show notes up after I'm done editing everything and it uploads. And by that point, I don't remember to go back in and listen to it to write it down half the time. So I'm pretty bad. But no,
way to inspire confidence.
I know. I'm terrible at all the things. I couldn't even get us recorded right the first time. So there's that.
Yeah.
Justin, is there, if anybody wanted to get a hold of you on awesome people to get a hold of to help cosplay makeup, do you have any way that people can get a hold of you if they want to ask anything?
You guys could get a hold of me on my own personal Facebook page. Of course, we got the WVUP webpage, and it gets access to me as well. Cosplay, I'm not 100% on, but if I have any pointers, I shall give them as I can.
Fair enough. Because, I mean, like I said, your cosplay was on point. So the interesting thing about being a cosplayer is that people will come up to you and ask you about your cosplay.
Yeah, it was that was my first time cosplaying ever. Yeah. So it was really a good experience for me.
Do you think that it's something that you will continue to do even outside of PopCon?
Very much so.
That's awesome. That's one of the things that I just haven't done yet is cosplayed it as anything. We have a couple of episodes where we've talked about that, but So if you have any questions or comments, or you'd like to hear yourself on air, you can call us at 978-DU-OGRES. That's 978-386-4737. You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres, email us at duelingogres@gmail.com, or leave a comment on the Facebook page. Make sure to check out our website at duelingogres.com for articles pertaining to some of your favorite geek news. Also, if you have any interest in writing for said website, you can contact us at bloggers@duelingogres.com and submit your own personal story. And finally, be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, or find us on Podbean, iHeartRadio, or Satchel, where you can also donate to the show, or nearly anywhere else you can find a podcast. So this will be the point where I do this. So until next week, Ogres, and then we'll all say good night together.
Okay, so Remington says, keep your clubs blunt. I say, and your tusks sharp. And then we all say good night.
Okay?
Okay.
You guys get one shot at this.
Yep, we will not do it again.
If you miss it, we're deleting this entire podcast and we're going to start again.
Oh my God.
From the top.
Do not threaten us with happiness.
Do not threaten us with happiness. Oh, you're so sweet. All right, here we go. So until next week, Ober. Before shit.
No do-overs. You promise we do it again.
Do big obas.
Do big obas. All right. Whew, okay. So until next week, Ogres, keep your clubs blunt
and your tusks sharp.
Good night. Was it just Justin? I didn't hear Peshka. You didn't do it, did you?
We all blended as one.
Oh my God.
Going on a cue.
They might even be better than us at that then.
My God.
It was like one demonic voice coming through.
Two hearts that beat as one.
I prefer the demonic voices, but okay, we can go with two hearts beating as one.
Yeah, we can do both.
Yeah. Two demonic hearts beating as one.